British delegation from the great United Kingdom to the great Lesg Mepg. May I, on behalf of the Honorable Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Dr. Ismail Adebayo Adewusi, and the management and staff of the Lagos State Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget, the primus think tank of the Lagos State Government, heartily welcomes you to the Lagos State Secretariat, the seat of the government of Lagos State, undoubtedly Nigeria's lead state and Africa's lead mega city. You're welcome. First of all, I'd like to introduce to you the members of the Lagos State Ministry of Economic Planning Management team who are here seated, and thereafter hand over to the DFID lead contact, Mr. Bukola, to write on the program. My name is Bola J. I'm the Ministry Chief Information Officer. On the side of the management, we have the Acting Permanent Secretary, who is actually the State Director of Budget, budgeting in excess of 3-digit billions for the 16.85 million people of Lagos State, Mrs. Iyapowale Aluko. Next to her is the capitalist. She mans the capital components of the budget. Mrs. R. Onabamiro, Director of Economic Planning. Next to her is the man in charge of finance and admin, takes care of all the policies, Mr. H. Adekunle. And of course, data is very critical to our planning in Lagos State. And so we have the Central Office of Statistics and the Director of Central Office of Statistics, Mr. Oyemesi. That's the Lagos State Ministry of Economic Planning Management side. Over to you, Mr. Bukola.
Thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budgeting, directors that are present. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Honorable Mr. Dili, the Member of Parliament. He's also the Chair of Globalization and Global Poverty Group, who is doing a visit to West African country just to move. We also have Kemi Adegoke, who is our own. That's a name that sounds familiar to those of us that are here. Is a project leader, Globalization and Global Poverty Group. I'm sure most of us have seen the British Deputy High Commissioner for the first time here, Peter Woodward, sitting right here. We also have some of the program managers of the DFID funded program here. We have Kevin Keja, who is not familiar face, known face to everybody. Kevin over there. We have our own here too, Mrs. Kemi Lusimi Eti, who is standing in for the program manager, State and Local Government Program, John Baker, who is on leave. And then we have Eniola Oyekuga. I think I'm a known face here, the DFID representative here. So, I would like to hand over to you. This is just a kind of a familiarization tour and a courtesy. We are in the program office, and then just to see some of the things that DFID is doing in Lagos State in particular.
Legacies in the Imperial UK, and it's good to have the Deputy High Commissioner of the Deputy British High Commission in Lagos, in Nigeria. It's important. May I respectfully invite Deputy High Commissioner to come over here and be seated by the Honorable Commissioner. Yes. Yeah. Before getting the Deputy High Commissioner to talk, and of course the Member of the British Parliament to make a remark, it's important to acquaint the nation with who the head of the ministry actually is. Dr. Ismail Adebayo Adeosi is a Japanese scholar on international development, finance, and economics. He has his PhD in that particular strength area. He's a product of the prestigious Obafemi Awolowo University, the old University of Ife, the cradle of the universe. He's an astute banker who has worked in several banking establishments, both local and foreign. He has also chaired, as the group managing director of the Billa Holdings, the Lagos State Primus Equity Managers for Lagos State Investment. And in the short while ago, he was the State Commissioner for Finance, at which time he was able to leapfrog the state IGR, from a makeup of about 600 plus million to what we now know as over 3 or about 5 billion IGR monthly revenue generation. Today, he presides over the economic planning and budgeting for over 5% of Nigeria's population and over 25% of Nigeria's urban population. I present to you Dr. Ismail Adebayo Adeosi. And I hand over to the Deputy High Commissioner, Your Excellency.
Thank you. Tabitha, thank you. I've got a broad Belfast voice and will carry much less. Thank you very much indeed for this very warm welcome and for receiving this delegation by the Right Honourable Peter Lilly today. I don't think today is an occasion to hear from me, it's an occasion.
Could I say a few words to the Honourable Commissioner? Thank you very much indeed for your hospitality. We rapidly realised that we are in the most important state and the most important country in Africa, and we're very pleased to be here. I have been asked by my leader in Parliament to lead a team who are considering policy to help developing countries on development, on aid, on trade, and have to report in the middle of next year. So we're at the research stage. Hence my visit here to Ghana and earlier to India. And we're very interested, obviously, in learning what you think are the key issues in any of the aid, trade and development areas, and any things you think that the British government now or in the future could do to improve the effort we make to work with you and help bring about greater and more rapid development. You obviously have the key portfolio in the key state and the key country, so we're very privileged to have the chance to meet you today.
Well, let me formally welcome you to the Center of Excellence, which is the state of Lagos. The Right Honourable Peter Lilly, welcome to Lagos. Your Excellency, the Deputy High Commissioner, Nigeria, you're very welcome. I welcome all the other members of this delegation. It's also our privilege to have you in Lagos and to share with you some of our experiences, some of our aspirations, some of the problems that is facing Lagos. I'm sure by now you know that Lagos is a mega city with a population of about 17 million according to the UN habitats. And of course, with great population, it comes with its own challenges in terms of providing infrastructure, in terms of providing security, in terms of providing even basic necessities, water, electricity, and all of that. So the challenges of Lagos is, I must say, a very tough and very complex one to manage. And at the recent World Bank Forum in Canada, Lagos has also been reclassified as a city that's going to become a meta city in the next few years. And that again means that the challenges of Lagos will become even more complex as we approach the meta city status. And for us, it means that we have to continuously monitor and make sure that our plans and policies are right, in order to take us to that threshold of better city. And I must tell you that for us, the challenges are many. We operate in a country, in a federal system that is not entirely federal in the real sense of it. We've been talking about fiscal federalism. Lagos, I'm sure if you only this morning, looking at the newspapers in Nigeria, you could see that some amount of money was distributed at the federal level, which we call the excess good, they call it. Even though for us in Lagos, we do not believe that there is anything called excess good. Because if you do your budget on the basis of current earnings, and if our constitution says that you have to share everything, then we do not believe that anything should be kept and managed by the central government at the exclusion of the states and the local government. So for us, we believe that the running of the affairs of the country in terms of the distribution of the wealth of the resources of the country is not equitable. Looking at the papers today, River State already benefiting from what we call the 13% derivation. Also collected a whopping 25 billion naira in the new sharing of the excess food. Whereas Lagos State, with all the challenges that we have mentioned, we got only 8 billion. And these are the problems that we have been talking about on a consistent basis. Are we really running a federal system? I mean, in the real sense of the word, are we running a unitary system? I will leave that for another day. I mean, no matter the amount of money we spend in providing infrastructure, especially roads, I mean, we still are not started. I mean, every year we continuously renew our road infrastructure, spending several billions of naira, and still we are not able to touch even the surface. It's really a very serious problem for us. We're talking about the size of our budget. Our budget is less than 200 billion naira in a year, which is less than the fire service budget of the city of Chicago. And we are coping with people, I've just told you, about 17 million people, and it's constantly rising. So the size of our budget is really nothing to write home about, even though it's still the highest. I mean, in Nigeria, our budget alone is more than about 7-8 states. I mean, in the country, but still we believe we have a lot more challenges to face. We've not been able to meet our own expectation in terms of the problem of our infrastructure. We still have quite a lot of roads that we want to be able to. I don't know how much of Lagos we have seen since we came in the right level. I think it's important that we still have more time. I would suggest that we visit some of the places that I consider, which will be very interesting. If you are afraid of security, I don't think you should worry so much. We will provide you with security to take you because I know that is one major problem that many people are worried about, especially in the city of Lagos. But I would like to say that our problem here, especially in the area of security, is not worse than what we have in South Africa, the city of Joburg. On a daily basis, they walk the streets, and I think Lagos is still much better in terms of security. And so, I'm sure you are also familiar. I'm sure by now you must have been told that there's an economic reform program that is, at the federal level. The needs component which has also come down to the various states, and in our own state we have the LASIT, which is the Lagos State component of needs. And what is it about? It is all about looking at reform to touch the real rural communities and to ensure that everybody has a feel of the reform, because the reform on its own is not really meaningful if it does not touch the lives of the people. So we are looking at that component. I'm sure before we leave here we'll be able to present you some of these materials, which is our own component of the reform agenda, and which of course even before the needs came up, we've had our own strategy of development, which is based on the 10-point agenda, which is designed to ameliorate poverty, which is designed to provide employment, provide infrastructure, housing, roads, water, and that has been there even before the needs came up. And that is as a result of the need for us to challenge ourselves to ensure that we take our own destiny in our hands, especially since we operate in federalism that is not really federal and that does not really take into consideration the peculiarities of the problems of Lagos. Sorry if I go back to this issue of fiscal federalism. We have been saying that for us to continuously meet the expectations of the voters, to provide democracy dividends in Lagos, we need resources. And of course, we've done so well, looking internally to provide effective leadership, to plug all the loopholes, introduce new creative means of generating income, and ensuring, of course, we know that people normally don't want to pay taxes. It's a major problem also in the city of Lagos. We have to battle with so many people, and of course because the informal sector in Nigeria is so large, you have so many people that you don't even have adequate resources on how much they earn, not to even talk of effective taxation for these categories of people. These professionals in Nigeria, the lawyers, the accountants, the medical doctors, they don't pay taxes. And you have difficulty capturing how much really they make. And so we have a system now that is providing some kind of monitoring as to how much these categories of people make, so that we can tax them effectively. So because of the large volume of informal sector operators, the traders, the artisans, and all of them operating, and they're not paying any tax to anybody. So we have also managed to create a database on a yearly basis. In fact, by the end of this month, we're planning another summit to bring all the private sector together and speak to the government to review what we've done so far, what are the problems that we need to provide solutions for. This government is a government in transition. Hopefully there will be an election in 2007. We really don't know whether there will be one, but we hopefully believe that if our constitution is anything to go by, there should be an election in 2007. So, and for a government in transition, it is important to take stock of what we have done so far. Of course, to project into the future, so that at the time we are living, of course, we know clearly what you have achieved over these past 7 years, what are the new trust of policies that you want to leave behind, people coming after you. And so all of this will be the focus of the summit, the fourth economic summit that will take place by the end of this month. And so we have continuously challenged ourselves, providing, I'm sure we have quite a number of projects going on now right now in Lagos, especially in the area of education. We have a very ambitious program of renewal of our classrooms. Most of the schools are very old, the structures are collapsing on a daily basis, so putting so much money into that. Also, our hospitals are in very bad shape. We're trying to achieve far-reaching effects in that area, especially in the various zones of Lagos. The garbage has been a major headache for succeeding government, for every government that has come in the recent past. For once, we've managed to find a permanent solution to the problem of the ocean surge, which we believe will have solved that problem once and for all. Of course, there is a very ambitious program of rehabilitation and renewal of the central business district in Lagos. We'll have some time when everyone would suggest that we visit to the place, you see a massive road construction going on, and that is to ensure we have a new marina city, which of course we cannot achieve that during the remainder of the tenure of our government, but by the time we provide infrastructure before we leave, we will have the kind of West End in Lagos.